Great Titan War, where the supernatural Godzilla and Ice Age Shimo came together to fight off the biggest threat ever, the Kaiser. The Kaiser was a big golden dragon with 3 heads. It was golden and black, with 3 heads and 2 red menacing eyes on each of them, and 3 sinister grins. They all looked at them, and Shimo and Godzilla looked back. They know there's no way out of this. They stomped their feet into the ground and readied themselves. Ghidorah charged at the supernatural Godzilla first. Supernatural boosting himself towards him and using his legs to push Ghidorah back. The Kaiser gets back up to his feet, grabs Godzilla and throws him into a mountainside, mortally injuring Godzilla already in the fight. Ghidorah uses his telekinetic beam, lifts Godzilla and throws him into Shimo. Shimo being knocked over from the attack, but yet uses her Cryomancer beam. The Cryomancer beam, which is way more effective than her ice beam, she uses it and blasts straight at Ghidorah. It hits him right in the chest, but yet is freezing at him. And then he pushes through it, making a magnetic field, and yet it deflects right off him again. Ghidorah can use unlimited power because of his alien biology. He keeps generating unlimited radiation. He uses wing lightning, blasting them all back without even breaking a sweat. He regenerates all of his wounds as Shimo climbs towards and knocks him over, ripping off the right head. Ghidorah reels back in pain and throws Shimo off. Shimo is sent flying to the ground as Ghidorah now is threatened. Ghidorah uses his telekinetic beam to lift Shimo up and throw her back as Godzilla comes charging in and lands straight onto Ghidorah's ribs, using all of his might to shatter some ribs. Ghidorah uses his beam again and throws Godzilla off and regenerates his head back on. He's ready to fight once again. But as Shimo was glowing way more intensified and her ice crystals start to crack, Shimo can't contain it anymore. Her radiation's about to implode herself. It's about to implode the Earth. If she doesn't put it somewhere, it will explode and it will take everything out with it. So, what does Shimo decide to do? It decides on her. As Godzilla's dorsal plates start to break, some of his dorsal plates are breaking. As Godzilla's big dorsal plate is about to release a big amount of radiation, he starts to lose it. So he charges in with Ghidorah, and so does Shimo. Shimo and Ghidorah charge in. Shimo and Godzilla charge in at Ghidorah. Ghidorah being slashed at and teared at. They both use all of their energy, putting it onto Ghidorah, as if Ghidorah was some type of scale. And now sent the Earth. The Earth was covered. It was covered in ice and fire, which was engulfed the planet and exploded the moon. Many centuries more, the moon was repaired, as if it's a fast forward all the way to 2014, as they now depict a cave painting of the Great Ice Titan. A great ice titan with big crystals on her back, fighting off a 3-headed dragon, but this time it was by herself. She didn't know what this 3-headed dragon was. The scientists didn't know what they were, but had depicted that they were titans all around the globe. So, they have to get rid of these titans if they know what is coming. Because they've studied these titans before and they know what it was. The Great Primal Roar. The Great Primal Roar was used by Kaiser to summon every good titan to his allies. Earth Behemoth. There was Earth Behemoth. Chaos Camazots. There was Chaos Camazots. Earth Behemoth, Um, I I don't know who it was. King Mount Methuselah that held the earth together and died trying to protect this surface world from Ghidorah, also along with Godzilla and the Ice Age Shimo. Now they rely on this Shimo to help them take out the new threat. Back in Honolulu, as the Muto has been emerged and is now wreaking havoc in Honolulu. As it destroys the city, this Muto now looks different. Its colorations are now black and orange, having orange eyes and had horns that had its telekinetic that had a beam and also had skinnier and also had armor around him. He was skinnier, had horns, had armor around him, and instead of and traded his EMP pulse for disturbing crystals or shattering crystals designed to target Shimo or Gojira ones. But little did they know there's only a Shimo, no Gojira. As the newly tested Muto looks back to see something coming out of the water. Something that covered the surface with ice. Ice Age Shimo. She emerges. This time taking on the mantle of Ice Age Shimo, she returns. But this time it is her offspring, the daughter of Ice Age Shimo. Ice Age Shimo charges towards the Muto without warning. Parasitic Muto now uses its chromatic beam. The chromatic beam shoots towards Shimo. The chromatic beam hits Shimo right in her face, stunning her for a bit as the Muto flies towards her and uses his legs to push on her head, hitting her right in her head. Shimo sees how it is able to take flight. She quickly uses her 2 feet, stands up and uses her claws to swipe it out of the sky. The Muto lands on its back, getting back up to its feet to see Shimo running at it and grabbing its wing, throwing it to the ground and using her claws to slash at it. It's being slashed at. It uses its gemstone beam to knock it back using its horns as well. It gets back to its the Muto gets back to its feet to see Shimo charging up her cryomancing beam. Her cryomancing beam is now charging up and shoots towards the Muto. The Muto quickly uses its gemstone on its forehead to protect itself. The barrier can hold for so long. She keeps shooting it as the barrier starts to crack and tear. Ice hits the Muto. The Muto is getting scared now. It is now hit by ice. It now knows it must retreat because now it's missing some chunks of skin. It takes flight, flying away from Shimo, and now ready. This Shimo was weaker. It was skinnier, and yet needed and was yet slower. But little did it know it would get way more stronger. It dives into the ocean. Shimo dives into the ocean after it to chase it. As the military observe them, they are ready to observe that there will be arriving in San Francisco, as the female Muto has now merged with horns on her head, and now skinnier, way more armored, and also has the same beam, and now using a magma blast. They all arrive in San Francisco, where the Mutos now look at Shimo. Shimo, ready to fight, fires her cryomancing beam at the 2 of them as they both use their gemstones to cover up the beam. As the beam shoots towards them, the cryomancing beam is now tearing up the barrier. Since the military did give her some juice to fight before the Mutos. The Mutos use their newly evolved EMP disturbing and injuring Shimo, also causing her great pain in her spikes, in her crystals. The crystals start flashing like a color. Her radiation depleted as well. She runs towards them as the female Muto on the floor knows she cannot win the clash, so she tries to move out of the way before it's too late. But she is too late, as the Shimo knocks her back, sending her flying across the city. Since this is a less heavier version of the female Muto, she's sent flying, but yet takes a little bit of damage thanks to the armor protecting her. She gets back up to see Shimo running towards her, but as the male Muto dives in and it hits Shimo with a cannonball, hits Shimo right into a building as the female Muto charges towards her. As Shimo gets back up to see another cannonball is heading towards her, but this time it's the female Muto. She's being knocked to the floor this time. Unable to get back up there, trying to knock off Shimo's crystals and trying to absorb the radiation. Shimo now more angry. They try to shatter her crystals, but with no luck, because Shimo now knows that her beam is ready to charge at. As Melmuto's in the air, she fires her beam, knocking him out of the sky and onto the floor. Some of his wing being frozen, as the female Muto is knocked off as well. Now being torn up and crystals hurting, she heads towards the female Muto and claws at her face, tearing off her right arm, her right claw. Now missing a claw, the female Muto screeches out in pain, as now the male Muto charges towards Shimo. Shimo looks behind, but it's too late, as she is hit in the face, and then they double team her again. But this time the female Muto is not doing as much damage, and then Shimo uses her Thagamizers to dig in to the new Muto, its underbelly. The belly is stabbed and her intestines spill out. She falls to the ground in pain as Shimo puts her foot on her face, crushing her to death. She is now dead, and Shimo shoots her beam into the sky, now using it to explode the male Muto. The male Muto is frozen solid as he comes crashing down to the floor, exploding everywhere. Shimo roars out in victory and heads back into the sea. Months later, she senses disturbances like earthquakes. It is the Muto Prime. The Muto Prime, now newly emerged, is now using her new crimson red claws, who are more muscular and more ready. Shimo has now arrived in France, looking at the power plant that has been destroyed. She roars out for whoever did this as the Prime appears, as two red eyes appear out of the fog and two blue eyes looking back right at her. She could get a good look at this Shimo. This Shimo was different from the others. This time, it was a black-skinned Shimo, having smaller crystals that was still young, and also had 6 Thagamizers, and was also skinny. But Shimo didn't care. It was ready to fight. She runs towards the Muto Prime, but before she could react, the Muto Prime uses her screech roar to disturb Shimo's crystals and her radiation, and also hurting her eardrums. She falls to the floor in pain. As she's screaming out in pain, she uses her Thagamizers that hits Muto Prime in the face, cutting her. She roars out in anger and uses her ovipositors to try and inject Shimo with them. Shimo tears up the ovipositors before it could reach her. The Muto Prime is in fury, using her radiation to heal it back. She gets back up, and now she uses her fist and punches Shimo right in the face with enough force to shatter the tectonic plate. Shimo's still up, and the Muto Prime keeps using its sonic screech, as then Shimo now charges up her crystals. At the same time, her crystals hurting as well. She lets out a pulse this time. It's disturbing her sonic scream, and her mouth gets frozen solid. The Muto Prime bursts it open and still knows that this Shimo has now evolved from the last battle with her kids. So, because she knows that this Shimo has absorbed radiation since the last time. She charges towards the newly evolved Muto Prime, as Muto Prime quickly smashes the ice off and uses a sonic screech, disturbing Shimo again, knocking her to the ground. She gets back up, only to see a burrowing Muto Prime. Muto Prime escapes before she could even see it. Shimo is now in fury. She can't let this happen again. Little did she know their final confrontation would end in the Indian power plant. In the Indian power plant, Shimo roars at the Muto Prime. Muto Prime ready to fight it. Ready to fight with Shimo. Shimo roars. She gallops towards the Muto Prime as Muto Prime absorbs the radiation and leaps towards her as well. She uses her, clenching her fist. Shimo could see this, and she's ready to use her sonic screech if it doesn't work. So before she could even do that, she turns around and uses her tail, and tail whips her right in the face, and her fist goes flying into their face, knocking her to the ground. Shimo was smart. She uses her teeth to dig into her neck. All she could see is a Shimo with blue and black mixed together. Her charred skin from earlier, but yet also the coloration of her same skin from earlier. She still doesn't know how the Shimo ended up different from the others, how it was black and had 6 thagmizers. But it was different anyways. She knew her neck was about to be snapped, but she remembered one thing, her sonic screech. Instead of the sonic roar, it's the sonic screech in this timeline. She uses her sonic screech. It bursts out of her neck and mouth. Heading towards Shimo's direction, it hurts her so badly that she nearly falls unconscious. She punches and kicks at Shimo. Shimo is now being torn up and bit into. Her ovipositors try to pierce Shimo, but her hide is holding up pretty good. There's only a matter of time before those ovipositors can pierce. She rips them out and then tears them off the Muto Prime. The Muto Prime screeches in pain as she's knocked to the floor. Shimo steps right onto her chest and slams right into it. She reels back in pain as her ribs are being shattered. As she looks up to see Shimo charging up her cryomanting beam. She uses her sonic screech with all of her might to finally destroy Shimo. She uses it and roars straight at Shimo, shattering all of her crystals and sending her flying to the ground. Shimo is now down for the count. As Muto Prime thinks she's about to win, Shimo uses a reverse trick. She shines her broken door crystals right in her face. As now it looks right at her. Half of her face is covered in ice. And then Shimo uses her tail and breaks half of Muto Prime's face off, leaving a bloody mess on the right side. She's in anger. Now she's lost half her face, and then as she's about to end this once and for all, Shimo gets back up and stands up and lets out a big what is it called? A big ice beam. Just like Shin Godzilla, she lets it out and it's the same thing, destroying Muto Prime instantly, not even being recognizable of the ice. As they recover Muto Prime's DNA, they are now sensible and happy. But little did they know, could it really be over? Could it really be that Muto Prime was the only threat? No. Little did they know, 5 years from now, that another threat would come to to threaten them. Little did they know, the Kaiser still exists in this timeline, and it's ready to fight, waiting till it's awakened again to claim the position as the primal alpha. And that's where it's going to be ending today. Sorry guys, this is a bit short. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you guys enjoyed what if Shimo was the antagonist or replaced Godzilla. Shout out to Goji guy for this idea, because like he did the Ghidorah one, but I wanted to do the Shimo one. So shout out to him. Part 2 will be coming soon. I'm sorry this one was so short. It's because it's really late at night. I'm recording this. It's, let me check the time, because I have work tomorrow. Not work, I have school. So I think that's, my laptop's dead. So I think it's near 11 p.m. So I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.